Hello guys, today we're going to be reading Burn Marked and Water-Filled Lungs by MoochaelMooyers on Wattpad. They are a very close friend to me and I absolutely love their stories. The last story I read was called Stressed by the same person. Anyway, this is the description. A story about two horror movie characters. I absolutely love them to pieces. Michael and Jason. Okay. Yes, I do ship them. I am proud to ship it. I have tons of RPs on them, some I use along with some timelines. Well, I hope y'all just enjoy it. Now, I might mess up on some words, and if I do, please don't judge me. I'm not used to this, and I'm recording this in my closet, so if you hear any background noise, I deeply apologize. Anyway, I might have to bring the story back up to the first chapter. And looks like I will, so hold on. The first chapter. How unfortunate. It was a warm night in Haddonfield, Illinois. It was a night where all the slashers and some creepypastas meet up and just hang out for a while. Some slashers and creepypastas were allowed to go on a kill hunt. Michael stared at Jason and nodded. They were allowed to leave campus and go on a kill hunt. They decided to go near a field because Jason knew some people were over there for a camping trip. Half an hour later, they walked through a field, weapons covered in blood. They came upon a child sitting on the dirt road, like they were abandoned. The child stared up at both of them. Michael looked at Jason. What now? Jason stared at the child, shrugged. Jason mentioned that they couldn't kill the kid. Michael sighed. We'll just take the child then. The kid didn't seem frightened. Jason also mentioned that the kid looked like a tiny killer, Michael thought. And then naming the boy Killer, he said he picked up Killer. They returned to campus shortly after. 4 weeks has passed. Jason goes up to Michael and says he's been wanting to talk to him about something. What's up? Michael was confused. Jason said that he had feelings for Michael. Michael was a bit shocked, but then admitted that he felt the same way. A few years passed. Killer was in preschool. His teacher claims that Killer had murdered another student with a knife. The body wasn't found. What the teacher had said was true. The teacher was already crazy as is. Everyone thought she was saying nonsense again. A few more years passed. Michael, Jason, and Killer had to leave Haddonfield for a short time. For a year they did, but after a year they returned. A couple more years passed. Killer was 17. He wasn't in school anymore. Killer knew who his real parents were and wanted to kill his dad. Michael and Jason supported Killer, and Killer did the same. Killer was very supportive of Michael Jason. He had earned a scratch mark on his left eye like Michael from a battle. Michael one day was sitting in the kitchen when Killer arrived home from prom. He went to school for a couple days. Michael looked serious. Killer was confused. I need to tell you something, Killer. Michael told him back tears. Killer was still confused. Did something happen? Michael tried to look him in the eye. Yes, something very tragic and unfortunate. Chapter 2, Killer's Gone Wild. Well, what happened? Killer tried to say calmly. Your other dad, Michael said quietly. Killer listened. Has either disappeared or died. Killer was filled with grief and confusion. That doesn't make any sense. Michael stood up and walked out. He was also angry. I will find who or what killed him, he growled. Pistol said nothing. She didn't know what to say about the current situation. Follow me, he said. Pistol followed him upstairs to a locked door. Killer pulled out the key and unlocked it. His room full of weapons. We need to grab everything we can, Killer said, grabbing a pocket knife. A few minutes has passed. They exited the room. Killer locked the door. They had two backpacks full of food and weapons. Killer runs out of the house. We should probably go to the playground. I saw a path there. Pistol nods. They go towards the path. There were noises in the bushes. Killer stood still. Pistol waited silently. Suddenly, a blue-like figure pounced on Killer. Who dare come through this wood? Killer stared at the figure. Pistol waited. Wait a second. She looked closely at Killer. I know who you are. Killer shook his head. Well, who are you? He shot back. The figure wore a mask that would change to her emotions, and she looked like she had an ice claw, which looks much like Freddy's glove. I'm Icy. You won't remember me, but I remember you from when you were a child. Killer looked at her. All right, but first would you please get off of me? Icy hopped off. I heard your father was missing? Possibly dead? We're looking for him, mentioned Pistol. They talk for a while. Killer asked Icy if she wants to come along. She agreed and went down the path to find some train tracks. They decided to follow these tracks. They ran into some doppelgangers. They were brutally murdered by Killer and Icy. They decided to head back. They returned to Jason standing in the front yard with Michael. Killer's eyes widened and he hugged Jason. He calmed Icy, looked up at Michael and nodded before jumping away into the shadows, yelling, I'll see you all next meetup. Chapter 3, Michael's Promise. In the morning, Michael went up to Killer and Pistol. I need you to find my sister. I hear she's still out in the woods, expecting me to kill her. I will come along with you both, not to murder her, but I need her for something. Killer agrees and Pistol agreed too. An hour passes. They come upon an old burnt house of the Strode residents, where Lori thought she had killed Michael once and for all. Michael shook his head and looked out by the woods. Lori is said to be out there. Killer nods, and they later find an abandoned house. Lori goes to windows and opens the curtains a small bit. He's here, she stared. She left to grab her shotgun and heard the window break. She went to the window again, but Michael was nowhere to be seen. I know your games, Michael. She looked around to see a knife be thrown on the floor. She looked up to see Michael in front of her. Lori backed up. Michael stared at her. They're still after me, you know. Lori let down only a bit of her guard. I know, she said in a somewhat trembling voice. They will continue to look for me. Lori said nothing. They talked for a bit. Lori let down her guard. Listen here, I'll protect you if you protect me. Got it? She said seriously. Got it, said Michael said softly. She hugged him and he returned the hug. They decided to leave and go back to the house. I have to talk to Lori about something. He walked outside to talk to Lori about something important, while Jason as well. Killer and Pistol decided to sleep. Michael said something about planning something. Lori helped and gave tips and ideas. Jason and Michael said their thoughts and ideas and made the plan for something big. The Slasher household. A few weeks had passed. Killer smelled something burning. Is something burning, or is it just me? Pistol looked out the window and saw that the house had a small fire at the bottom. Well, there was a small flame at the bottom of the house. Killer was alerted and ran down the stairs for another. The others. Pistol followed. Michael and Lori were talking to each other, trying to bond, to form a good brother-sister relationship. Killer zoomed down the stairs. I think the house is on fire, Killer yelled in fear. Pistol stood and waited. Michael looked at him. What do you mean? Killer's expression changed. There is a fire outside and it's burning our house. Lori checked the window and half the house was in flames. We need to leave, Lori said. Only grab the important stuff. Killer and Pistol nodded. They left the house and never looked back. They decided to find some shelter. They waited till the next slasher meetup. Is there a place we can stay? Killer said out loud to the slashers and a few creepypastas. Leatherface looked at Killer. There is a slasher household, Freddy said up. We can take you there after the meetup. Ghostface shot a dirty look at Michael, and Michael did the same. Killer nodded. Thanks. After the meetup, Freddy, Ghostface, Leatherface, and a few other slashers led the group to the slasher household. So, what happened? Freddy asked. If it's not personal, that is. mentioned Leatherface. Jason said their house burned down. Lori nodded. That's pretty sad. I'm sorry that happened, Freddie said with a warm tone in his voice. Michael was a bit surprised by the tone. They arrived at a big house. Leatherface opened the door, and as soon as they entered, Chucky, Tiffany, and Jigsaw were fighting over something stupid. Some of the other survivors were taunting the other slashers, and Pinhead was being an idiot. Lori saw a figure who reminded her of Judith. She and Michael knew Judith was dead, so there's no point in believing that she was alive. Chapter 4. Judith's Return / a New Sister. Lori looked at Michael. She reminds me a lot of Judith, Lori said softly. Michael nodded, but it's not possible that she's alive. Lori agreed. The girl looked at both of them with shock and happiness. Michael! Lori! She ran up to them. Lori and Michael were confused. I haven't seen you both in a while, she smiled. Lori stared at her. Judith? The girl nodded and hugged them both. Sorry, I'm not really alive, but I'm not really dead either. I'm a ghost. Michael was surprised that she forgave him for killing her. Killer stared at them. Pistol watched. Judith came up to Killer. So, you're my nephew, right? Killer looked at her with a small smile, with a bit of confusion. Yeah. Judith smiled and hugged him. He returned the hug. Dr. Loomis came in the room. All right, everyone, lights out. He stopped and looked at Michael. Michael shot a glance at Loomis. Well, hello, Michael, he said with a bit of annoyance. Hello, Loomis. Michael replied with a bit of annoyance, too. Loomis coughed. As I was saying, lights out, everyone! The slashers ran to their room without a fuss. Thought Lori. They went to their rooms as well. A few months passed. Loomis is such a jerk, said Freddie. You got that right, Michael replied. Jason mentions that Dr. Loomis steals her stuff besides her mask. Judith nodded. It's nice to see you again, Michael, along with Lori. A girl was watching them. Michael looked up to see her writing something in a notebook. Who was that? Judith turned around only to see the girl jump and run off. We should go follow her. Michael nodded. Judith gets up and starts going after her. Michael walked, but then realized he could teleport. So when the girl stopped, he teleported her. Who are you? The girl pinned and sat down. You won't be mad if I tell you? Michael was confused. Of course not, the girl said. My name is Lindsay, your long-lost sister. Michael was confused. What? Lindsay said again. I just wanted a good relationship between you, Lori, and Judith. Michael smiled. We should head back. He teleported them back to the house. They bonded well, especially with Lori and Judith. Loomis's revenge. In the morning, Michael took his pills as usual. He took these pills because Loomis claims that Michael may have depression, anxiety, and maybe more. Loomis found one of Michael's knives. Michael, come clean up your goldfish. Michael sighed and went to Dr. Loomis. What do you want? Dr. Loomis went up to Michael and stabbed him in the chest. Michael fell down and tried getting away. Dr. Loomis stabbed him 2 times in the back. He threw down Michael's knife onto the floor. He stared at Michael's corpse. He hit the corpse and went into the main room. The slashers gathered. I'm sorry to inform you all, but Michael has committed suicide. Everyone was in shock. Lori had tears in her eyes. Killer thought it was suspicious. Judith tried to comfort Lori. Lindsay held her notebook closed. I didn't even know him that well, she said quietly. Jason was just in shock. Freddie stood up. That's not possible. I saw him this morning. Dr. Loomis looked at him. I know what I have seen. Freddie hesitated. Icy stepped out of the shadows. We all need to calm down. Her mask had a suspicious-looking expression. We still need to pay our respects to Michael and pray for his family. Icy bowed her head down. Amanda looked at Loomis. I don't see this happening, she said angrily. Wrath was in tears. How could something this terrible happen upon us? Sally tried to comfort Wrath. I agree, Dr. Rose's voice. A few hours passed. Lori was still in grief. Jason said nothing for the rest of the day. Everyone went to bed in a sad mood. Killer was angry. Nicole was depressed. Lindsay's face was blank, but deep down inside she was really depressed about the situation. Chapter 5, I believe. An interesting encounter. In the morning, Jason didn't say anything to anyone. Ghostface seemed like he was happier. Jason thought he was only happy because Michael was dead. Lori stepped into the kitchen, not feeling like herself. Jason asked her what was wrong. Lori burst into tears and hugged Jason. I miss him. Jason comforted her and agreed. Ghostface just laughed until Freddy came behind and smacked him across the head. Knock it off, Ghostface. Ghostface turned to Freddy. Gee, I thought you would be happy that Michael was gone. Freddy stared at him. Why would I? Just because we don't get along as well doesn't mean I would wish he was gone, Freddy said with a bit of shakiness in his tone. Jason was also angry at Ghostface for thinking such a thing. Laura shifted to Ghostface, the tears out in her eye. How dare you think that, she yelled. You must be sick in the head for thinking such a thing. Ghostface stared at her like she was the one that was crazy. Just then, there's a knock at the door. Everyone shifted their attention to the door. Laura answered it to see 3 female figures and 2 male. One was a ghostly figures. They kind of looked like Michael, Jason, Judith, Killer, and Lori herself. She was confused. It's pouring rain out here. Could you possibly let us stay for a bit? Asked one of the males. Of course, come in, Lori said, wiping her tears. They stepped in and sat down. One of the female figures spoke up quickly. I'm Michaela. This is Julia, Jaden, and Lucas. Julia looked up at Jason. Lucas shifted his gaze to Lori. You know, we all look alike. Lori nodded. Freddy stared at them. You look a lot like someone we knew, he said to Michaela. My full name is Michaela Audrey Myers, if you're wondering, that is. Freddy looked surprised. Julia said her full name was Julia Lark Voorhees. Jason said his name was the same, except his first name was Jason. My name's Lori Strode, Lori added. Lucas looked at her. Well, my name is Lucas Strode. Lori nodded. Freddy spoke up. Well, he's not here anymore, sadly. But someone we used to know's name was Michael Audrey Myers. Michaela looked up. Oh, that's funny because we came here looking for him. He's my best friend. Lori smiled. Well, he's gone now. Lori frowned. Did something happen? If you don't mind me asking. Michaela got up suddenly. Jason lowered his head. Freddy decided not to say. Judith said nothing. Lori finally spoke up. He committed suicide, Luma says. Michaela stood there like she was frozen. She was at a loss for words. Julia stared at Jason with sad eyes. Lucas looked like he was about to say something, but then he didn't. Jaden hugged Judith. Jane spoke up. I'm sorry for your loss, he said softly. Lori sighed. You all can stay for a bit, but if you plan on staying with us from now on, you need to inform Loomis about it. They all agreed and head off to bed. 5:20 a.m. Michaela was awake and stared at the ceiling. Judith had woken up. You all right? She said, a bit tired. Michaela looked at her. Not really. Judith sighed. Still upset about the situation? Michaela nodded. Laura shot awake. What's happening? Judith turned attention to Lori. You're tired. Go back to bed. Lori said. Nah. She got up and went to the kitchen. Judith sat up and looked at Michaela. Let's go see if the others are awake. Michaela got up and nodded. Chapter 6 or 7, I can't remember. Welcome home, Myers. The 4 informed Dr. Loomis that they wanted to stay. Loomis agreed and got along, and everyone got along well with them. A few days passed. Idris notifies Amanda that she heard something behind the house where the forest was. What kind of noise? Amanda asked Adrius. Thought for a minute. It just sounded like bird wings and rustling. Legion was listening. Then we should go probably have a small group to go check what caused the noise. Adrius and Amanda agreed. The slashers gathered in the main room. Adrius has informed me of a noise in the back of the house near the woods. We are sending our best slashers to check. Amanda looked down at everyone. Wrath, Freddy, Jason, Adrius, and Doctor are going on the mission. The 5 nodded. You are allowed to leave. Meeting's over. The 5 left, wandering off into the woods. Michael stared down and saw the 5 walking around. He had a choice to either stay or go back home. Doctor turned his attention to a sunny patch. He heard wings flapping. He notified the others. They headed in that direction. They thought they were just birds nearby, but they checked just in case. And there they stood struck. Michael was laying on a leaf pile. He looked like he had been there for days, rotting away. He wasn't dead. It just smelled like something was decaying or rotting. Jason ran over. Is he alive? Freddy was concerned. So were the others. Jason sighed in relief and nodded. He's alive! Wrath yelled with excitement. Jason picked up Michael and told them that they should probably head back now. Freddy stared at Michael. I'm glad he's back. Jason smiled under his mask and nodded. Adrius smiled. We missed you, old buddy. Everyone agreed. Michael looked like he was passed out maybe for a couple days. They weren't sure. They arrived home. Guess who's home? Freddy yelled. Everyone turned their attention to Freddy. They couldn't believe their eyes. It was actually Michael. Lori came around the corner, her husband. Michael! She ran up to them. Judith, come here. Judith came into the main room. What? She stopped and said, Is it really him? She said with tears in her eyes. Jason nodded. Ghostface scoffed. What a jerk. Lindsay smiled and held her notebook close. Michaela and Julia came out to the main room as well. Michaela's eyes lit up. Michael, she said with some shakiness in her voice. It's been so long. Julia went up to Jason. Julia signaled something to Jason. Julia signaled, I hope good things come to you. Jason nodded and thanked her. Jason was still holding Michael. He placed Michael on the couch. Freddy observed Michael. He has wings and a halo now. Lori looked around. He's thicker than a snicker. Everyone burst out laughing after everyone calmed down. Icy looked over from the speaking stand. Welcome home, Myers. Chapter 8, I believe. Recovery. As the sun rose, Lori had waken up. She looked over at Michaela, who was also awake. Have a nice sleep? Michaela looked at her with a smile. Yeah, I'm feeling better now. Lori nodded. Good. They got up and went to the main room. Michael was awake and shivering. Jason had given him a blanket. You all right? Freddy asked. Michael just nodded. Well, we're glad you're back, everyone agreed. Julia signaled to Michael, I hope you feel better. Michael nods again. Julia smiled under her mask. Michaela sat next to him. It's been a while. He looked at her, then looked at the floor. Are you all sure he's fine? He isn't saying anything. Leatherface asked. Pinhead looked at Leatherface. He must be still trying to process what is happening. Freddy looked a bit concerned. Well, let's just hope nothing bad happened. Everyone agreed. Michael shifted his wings a bit. Jason was also sitting next to him. Lori had sat down on the floor. Julia signaled to Jason. Make sure nothing happens to him. Jason nodded. Michael shifted his wings again. Pennywise entered the main room and went to Michael. I don't really know much about you, but everyone's worried about you, okay? Stay safe. He went into the backyard. Everyone nodded, and Michael said nothing in response. Freddy was a little more concerned now. Are you sure you're... Michael cut him off. I'm fine, he said with a bit of weakness in his tone. Freddie sighed. Trapper entered the room. How's Michael? Freddie looked at him. He's fine, just a bit weak. Trapper looked at Freddie, then at Michael. Well, I hope you feel better by tomorrow. Michael nodded with a small smile, which just came from the backyard. I got more firewood for tonight. Trapper nodded. Amanda stood on the speaking stand. We all have some new information on hand. She looked at everyone. We have discovered that the information Dr. Loomis has provided us about Michael's death was false. Everybody gasped. Trapper spoke up. That's actually really messed up, because he told us that Michael committed suicide, but it was all a lie? Amanda nodded. Yes, indeed. Michael sat for a minute, then looked at Amanda. I remember what happened. Everyone turned their attention to Michael. He told me to go clean up my goldfish. He must have found one of my knives. All I remember is that he stabbed me in the chest. I tried getting away, but he stabbed me twice in the back after that, and all I could see was black. Amanda seemed a bit surprised, but was mostly not. This is to be expected from Dr. Loomis, though. Freddie stood up. Yeah, he would pull something like this. Wrath looked up at Amanda. We should banish him from the house or have him punished. Amanda nods. Then in the cell, then. Loomis shall be banished for his dirty deeds. Trapper went over to the speaking stand. But who will watch us in the time being? Amanda thought. It shall be decided. Michael said. I say Judith and Jaden should. Michael looked down at Michael. Why is that? He looked at her with confidence. They're both responsible and are capable of watching over us. Amanda stared at him for a couple seconds. It has been decided that Judith and Jaden shall be our leaders until Loomis returns. Killer entered the room. I have provided this information. Freddie looked at him. How could you get a hold of such information? Killer said. He was talking to himself and I happened to hear it. Everyone from then on hated Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis was banished from the Slasher household for 2 months. Every day, Michael has recovered and gotten better. He now has the strength to talk. Within this time period, he learned to fly with his wings.